Send help. And now went to go and sleep with her husband. I'm like, what? No more school fees for you. Are you joking? Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, welcome. If you're old here, how are you doing? Yes, my name is Fadekemi, your money friend. So today we are talking about toxic money habits that you may have that you do not even know that is toxic, and I have it. So I'm going to be talking from my perspective, the toxic money habit that I have or that I've seen. If you're interested in this video, do keep watching. Number one toxic habit that I have that I'm trying to change is paying for a membership that I don't suck the juice out of. Do you guys get that? Like, you know how there are a lot of, membership platforms that you join, coaching platforms, coaching courses. I pay for it, but I don't suck the juice out of it. At the end of the day, I have probably like a 25% completion rate. I'm just like, why did I pay for this course? So I had to start changing. So when I look at a course, even though there's a paparazzi and friends about it, maybe everybody's talking about it, like, oh, this course, oh, how to make money this, oh, how to monetize your knowledge, oh, how to do this, oh, how to scale up. The word scale up is always used, by these coaches. So there might be a frenzy around it, and you might be tempted to be like, okay, let me just join, because maybe you're feeling inadequate with your life or discontent with where you are. Sometimes you don't actually need that course. So maybe you should calm down and say, do I have the time to take this course? It's not, you can make time to take a course, but do I have the time? Do I have the means? Do I have the resources? Do I have the capacity? Am I interested? Will this course help me, or am I just joining because everybody's doing it? This leads me to my second point, which is buying things or paying for things that you don't necessarily need. It's still linked up in a way with entrepreneurship and buying, and the reason why people buy. There's a mindset, there's a mentality, there's a buyer behavior, right? Buyer behavior is people buy things most of the time for how it makes them feel, for what you promise them, for the promise of that product, for what sometimes they buy it because of you. That's another thing. So being on the other side of the spectrum, sometimes I've actually found myself buying things just because of the person selling it, just because of the way the person advertised it, just because sometimes we buy things out of pity. For example, you're going on the road, this small girl comes and say, oh, auntie, buy it now, auntie, buy. You're like, okay, let me just buy. Don't buy if you don't need that thing. Okay, but well, you can spend your money how you want, but that is a toxic habit. And yep, I said what I said. Yep, another toxic habit. Oh my god, guys, I should have even started with this one. I'm ashamed to say it. Buying books I don't need. Yo, who else is on this table? If you can relate, comment below. You guys, I have books. If I show you my library, this is like half of the books that I have. I have books, ebooks, my system, books on my phone that I have not read. Yo, I still have books on like platforms like Kada books that I have not still read. Guys, I just buy books sometimes because I'm like, oh, let me support this author, because I myself am an author. Well, if I do say so myself. This is a toxic habit that I'm still dealing with. Send help. So another toxic money habit that I have is buying clothes that I know that I will not wear. So sometimes I actually just buy clothes because, oh, I have a YouTube channel, let me buy this clothes, I can wear it as a top, and that's it. Every YouTuber will probably be able to relate. Some of us actually buy clothes just for YouTube, and this sounds funny to other people, but it's true. But then I found myself now buying clothes that I cannot wear outside. I just have a closet full of clothes that are not wearable. They're just wearable on the internet. And my life does not revolve on the internet. I have I have a job, right? A 9-to-5 job that I have to get to. So I had to now come to understand, like, wow, Fadekemi, you're actually buying clothes that you don't need. Some of these clothes, you can't wear them out because they're too casual or they're short. Sometimes there are even clothes that, you're buying, but you know that they won't last. This is something that a lot of us do, and this is going to be my fourth point. I think this is the fourth point. Buying less quality things. You think that buying less quality things at a very cheap rate is good because you're like, oh, I got a good bargain, but you're actually selling yourself short and you are doing yourself. Yes, you think you are doing you are doing yourself because that clothes will not last, or that bag, or that shoe. And then at the end of the day, you end up buying, say maybe you bought that thing 1,500 naira. You end up buying like 3 of that thing in the next 3 years. Meanwhile, if you had just bought 6,000 naira, it will last you in the next 5 years. Now, this does not mean that everything that is expensive has to be, quality, but you yourself, quality when you see it. Most of the time, not all the time, but most of the time, that, okay, this one is quality. Let me just close my eye and buy it. So me now, I'm at that point where I'm closing my eye and buying things. I'm just like, let me just buy it. Right, I know that it will last instead of buying things. This happens especially with me with shoes. Okay, I keep buying shoes that are like kind of cheap, flat shoes, not heels. My heels, I try to buy quality heels because I cannot fall down the road. But like with my flat shoes, I found that I was buying shoes that were cheap, and then in the long run they end up losing value. Like most of the time, 6 months I can't wear the shoe again. Like, it's that bad. So I started to invest more in buying quality shoes. If it's only 2 black shoes that you have and their quality is better, try your best. If you have 1.5 to buy shoe now, please save it up and say, okay, I have 1.5, let me keep it. I'll add small, then buy quality. You can buy thrifted shoes, you can buy new shoes, it doesn't matter, as long as it looks very, very quality. Don't just buy cheap things. Same with clothes too, and bags, right? Yes, buy quality over quantity, so that it will last you for a long time. Another toxic habit that is very, very common in the African homes is this thing called black tax. One of my subscribers actually told me to talk about black tax, and I thought, is it really like a video that I have to make like a whole video black tax? I don't know, I'm still weighing it, but black tax is one of the toxic money habits that affects Africans. What is black tax? Let me tell you what it is. Black tax is this thing that maybe one person becomes rich in the family, and person that has to take care of the whole family, and you find that 2 people earning the same money in a company are not incurring the same cost, because one person is probably from a middle-aged family, middle class family that are doing okay for themselves. She does not have to pay for her sister's school fees, her younger brother's school fees. Meanwhile, someone comes from another family where he's basically putting all his money on his siblings, and this even affects people in their relationships, where people get married and they can't even take care of their immediate family. They have to start taking care of their brother, their sister, their uncle, and their wives suffer it, or their husbands suffer it. So black tax is another toxic money habit. And I think that we should actually talk about this thing in African homes. Stop putting too much pressure on firstborn, secondborns, or whatever to take care of the siblings. For Christ's sake, you gave birth to 6 children. Why did you give birth to 6 children when you can't take care of them? I understand that certain things can happen and put parents in bad light. And yes, as a child, you can decide to help your parents. By all means, I try to do that. I try to give my siblings money, right? But there's no pressure on me to now be the provider of the home when I have my own home that I'm taking care of, right? So black tax is a real thing, and I want to know what you guys think. Comment below, let's talk about it. This thing has eaten into many families. Where I heard a story of one lady where she was paying school fees for her siblings, doing this, doing that, and can you imagine that this sister now went to go and sleep with her husband? I'm like, what? No more school fees for you? Are you joking? And the parents were still begging and saying, oh, please just what? It's hard. Okay, so if you're in that place where black tax is affecting you, or people are just taking advantage of your finances because you are you're doing okay, I think it's important that you first decide that, okay, this is the amount that I'm going to give, because giving is good. I mean, if you're a Christian or even any religion at all supports giving, right? Giving is good, it's fine. I'm not saying don't give. If you must give, have a budget of, okay, what is this that I'm going to give per month, and once I pass that budget, that is it. And you have to make them understand that you cannot sacrifice your own future, right, for someone else that might at the end of the day even say, who sent you message? I've seen it happen where firstborn did everything, dropped out of school for a sibling to go to school. Eventually the sibling got a job, did better, and didn't care about the firstborn anymore, or even the members of the family, right? And the firstborn will have resentment. Anything that you will do that will cause bitterness, resentment, unforgiveness, that any giving that you're giving that you're expecting a return, I think you shouldn't do it, because except you are, investing. But if you are giving people, I think you shouldn't do it if you think that this person will pay me back in the future, because if the person doesn't pay you back, you will be resentful and you will just not be in the right place. So another toxic money habit that I've seen a lot of people have, and I had it, thank God I don't have it anymore, is not having a budget, right? You just live your life spending money anyhow. There was a time that I was spending money buying shawarma every day on my way home, just enjoying myself, living baby girl life, only to realize I had a jerk, like something happened that jerked me back to reality, to now make me see that, wow, I could not afford the life that I was actually living. But you won't know if you are, if you don't have a budget. You won't know. You will think, oh, I make 200k a month now, why can't I afford shawarma a day? It's just 1,000, it's just 1.5. But by the time you multiply 1.5 by 20 days, you will now see that you can't afford that thing that you are doing, because you still have to buy fuel in your car, you still have to pay for rent, you still have to settle some bills. If you're an adult, you can relate to what I'm talking about. But if you have a budget and you can afford shawarma, it's okay. I'm not saying don't buy shawarma, I'm saying have a budget. It is toxic not to have a budget. It is toxic to just be having to your head like you are deceiving yourself, let me tell you. Guys, I'm actually planning to film a video about how to create a budget, make a budget, budgeting, simple tips for budgeting, especially for content creators and people that do not have a fixed income. I feel like those are the people that majorly are not really are tuned with their finances, and this is something that I'd like to talk about. So if you will be interested in that, comment below and tell me, yes, do a video on how to create a budget. Last but not the least, toxic trait. This one is a toxic money habit trait that a lot of people have. And I had it too, right? It is, are you ready? Tell me you're ready in the comment section. By the way, guys, are you subscribed? Have you shared the video? Have you given this video a thumbs up? If this video is really helpful, and I know that this video is really helpful for you, please share, please subscribe, please give a thumbs up. This shows YouTube that you like videos like this, and they're gonna, it's gonna help people like me to create more content like this. So yes, my final point is spending money that you don't have. Guys, I know that your uncle has already promised you 50,000 naira on Thursday, but my dear, let the 50,000 naira enter your bank account first, because your uncle can die. Yes, it can happen. Anything can happen. Your uncle's child can fall sick, and he will channel that 50,000 to this child. Emergencies can happen, and that money that you're expecting may not come. And if you've already incurred expenses on top of income that has not come in, my dear, you're in a long thing, because now you're in trouble. You will wash plates and you will wash clothes. So please stop spending money that you don't have. And this happens a lot with salary earners and people that work in like corporate organizations, because maybe you already know that, okay, my company pays every 20th. What if your company does not pay? This does not mean, okay, with statements like this, again, they are not always blanket statements. It's not one size fits all. The point is, don't spend money you don't have. Don't spend money based on promise. That is the most important thing about this particular point. Don't spend money before it comes, okay? Let the money come. See the money in your bank account. Anything can happen to that money before it comes. Trailer can jam it. The trailer can fall inside the deep blue sea. My dear friend, I am your money friend, and I'm always here to help you. Also comment below which toxic habit has really been your thing and which one you're changing, and let's just continue the conversation in the comment below. I will see you guys in my next video.